and welcome to another weekly update. Well, last week was Microsoft Build week. I think it was a pretty good build for developers this time around. I think it was a good one. Lots of Copilot stuff, obviously. Some good stuff for developers, building agents, and good keeping up, I think, with the industry technologies by, things like MCP servers, agent to agent. There's another one I'm missing out as well. It'll come to me. These kind of like important kind of moments in time where we're at. NL Web, that's the other one. These kind of important moments in time that I think, we're all taking a bit of a gamble on whether they're the things that are going to pan out. But for now, they seem like sensible ideas. Especially the agent to agent stuff is interesting, but it's all quite new still. So we're going to figure that stuff out throughout the rest of the year, I think. I'm kind of not going to go through every single build session I saw. Not sure how useful that is particularly. I'm going to call out a couple of interesting things though. So first one, blog post, new Microsoft 365 Copilot APIs. And really what they mean is new APIs for enterprises who want to see what people are doing about Copilot. I imagine this is very much in the category of unblocking enterprises who are refusing to go to Copilot because there isn't enough auditing. So there's a bunch of APIs to get at the interactions, things that people are doing with Copilot. You can do real-time notifications, like change notifications for Copilot interactions, access to meeting insights, retrieving extracts from SharePoint and Copilot using natural language queries. That's a more interesting one. That's not so much auditing. That is quite an interesting one. That's also not here yet. It's going to be in public preview next month, apparently. There's a link to what I presume is a roadmap item about it. And then a chat API, again, very, very kind of features currently available in public preview. So I think that might be something we hear about maybe next year or possibly at Ignite. But the ones that are out now in public preview, so that's beta, to try out and use are the top three. So the interactions export API, change notifications for Copilot interactions, and the meeting insights API. So that's good. Good to see those there. Like I say, this is probably unblocking those enterprises who have thus far refused to go to Copilot because they don't have enough visibility of what's going on. Next up, a big rename for the Microsoft Teams Toolkit. Now it is called the Microsoft 365 Agents Toolkit. A couple of big sort of new things in it as well, but the name change is the biggie. And that makes it kind of sometimes hard to work out what's new and what's not, because the whole thing gets re-announced as if it's a new thing. And all of its features kind of get surfaced again. So kind of unhelpful, but just know that when you come to use it next time, the Teams Toolkit is now called the Microsoft 365 Agents Toolkit. All the same things from before are in there with a couple of extra things. So you can now, if you're building a declarative agent, you can now do that with TypeSpec, which is interesting. I've definitely got some blog posts pending to talk about that because it's a really cool way of building declarative agents, actually, and I really like the way it works now. And so, definitely want to talk about that. That's a new thing that's in there. They're just highlighting as well some of the things that I think you could do before. So you can also use the Agents SDK to build bots there. You don't have to just build Teams AI library bots or declarative agents. You've got all the different ways that you can build your agents in there. And you can still, even though it's called the 365 Agents Toolkit, you can still use it to build all the Teams things, the Teams tabs. We've flipped around from it being called one thing, being called Teams, and you'd be able to do non-Teams things in it. Now it's called something that's not Teams, but you can do Teams things in it. Clear? Good. All right. So there's we talked a little bit, just a couple of, like the first thing we talked about, the meeting AI insights. So the Meeting Insights API is out, but I've done a whole blog post about this because the bit that really annoys me about this is that it's out, but for the Meeting AI Insights API, right now, you need delegated permissions, not application permissions. That made me grumpy because all of the use cases I can think of for using the Meeting AI Insights API would be using application permissions, not delegated permissions. So that annoys me they've done it that way around because I just don't think this is going to be that useful. And so it's frustrating to see an API come out and then think, oh, great, all these use cases, including use cases in Microsoft's own documentation, but actually looking at them, then thinking, I can't do any of these because I don't have the right permission set. So that's kind of annoying, kind of frustrating. I hope it gets fixed soon. But in the meantime, that API is out there. If you've got a use case for accessing the meeting insights, but using user permissions, delegated user permissions, then you are laughing. So this is there for you. Otherwise, I think you're just going to have to wait. Finally, and I don't normally link to these, there's a roundup blog post from the Teams team talking about all the things that are new in build. And they do one of these every month. This is the May edition. It's their build edition, and they've gone through a whole, all the things that are new in Teams, which is kind of interesting. So I do kind of read it every month, and I don't often include it because there's often not stuff to do with the platform. There used to be. That slowed right down recently over the past probably year or so. But now they are just rolling in some of the Copilot stuff as well and calling it a Teams update, which is fine. We'll take it. But so under platform changes, they've got we've talked about this before. This is re-announcing the same thing 3 times. The interaction export APIs. Yep. The Teams AI library. I kind of blogged about this a while ago, or last week before. The V2 of the Teams AI library. So that's in there. The Teams AI library supporting MCP. Talked about that as well. AI agent to agent protocol. I assume they mean in the Teams AI library, although they don't say so. That's interesting. This is definitely one to keep an eye on, the A2A stuff, to see if it takes off. This could also be, I said this before somewhere, this could be a really interesting way on how Microsoft actually deals with the challenges they've built for themselves now. There being lots of different ways to build different bots. This could be the way in which they all talk to each other, which would be quite nice. And again, agentic memory allows AI agents in Teams. So I think we still are talking about the Teams AI library here. Other things, automated agent validation, running compliance checks on their agents directly within the Teams developer portal. Okay, so that's good. That sounds like a checker for taking it to the Microsoft Store. So that'd be interesting to take a look at. That's available in public preview now. And then there's some more analytics. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago. It got announced a couple of weeks ago. In the developer portal has some more insights and stuff out, and we covered that one already. And then you can also invite your AI pad agents into Teams meetings call. Again, we talked about this probably about a month ago now, so it's kind of being re-announced. That's fine. This covers all the things that happen in May, so I guess it seems sensible that we've already talked about it by the time it comes on here. I think that's about it. There's some other stuff. This whole blog post is worth a read through. It's some. I don't want to say this is the only time of year it's worth it, because sometimes it really is worth it. Sometimes it's less so because it's roundup of really obvious things that are not actually new, or it's calling out. It feels like if they don't have enough news, they will like make it up with third-party apps and stuff like that. But just on the back end of build, it's a really useful actually just roundup of things just to make sure you didn't miss anything across teams. But also, as you can see, it kind of goes sideways into Copilot a little bit as well. And they wrap that up inside Teams extensibility, Microsoft 365 developer extensibility. I stopped calling myself a Teams developer quite a long time ago. It's Microsoft 365 extensibility now, especially with the Copilot stuff. You can't just focus on Teams, I don't think. So lots and lots happening the last week. I'm still catching up the build sessions. Some of them have been really, really good. The NL Web one, I'm really interested in. That's definitely worth keeping an eye on. It's not at all what I thought it was going to be, which is interesting as well. And I think a lot of the buzz might be from people who don't quite understand what it is. So we'll see how that goes. But for the technology that they've come out with, I think it's going to have some really interesting use cases, not just in search as well. So definitely one to keep an eye on. All right. I think that's everything from me. I'm going to leave you for the rest of your week. Have a great one, whatever it is you're doing. And I will speak to you again next time.